will play out. FAV versus Fnatic. You can almost say that this is the battle for second, as Cyclops is currently 5 points away.
So FAV, obviously they played this the other day against Cyclops.
Yeah.
And it ended in a 7-3, and it was a Cyclops that was full Cyclops. What do I mean by that? Well,
dropping the diffuser in spawn.
yeah, they sort of went, well, we're going to have fun with this. We've got other games that we're sort of keeping our stuff for. It's a busy week, and this is something Jess and I were actually discussing in the back room, was, you know, obviously some of the plays that we've seen today have been a little bit scrappier than they were on the other play day.
Yeah.
It's a super week. There's also other competitions that are on. You've got
Other
career
competitions
opens
are available.
Other competitions are available. The Japanese League, and you know, it's sometimes when you step back in the mantle of having so much in a week, the stress sort of builds. And I guess doubling down on a map, is it something that gives you a little bit more security and a little bit more confidence?
Yeah, or it's going to be more of the same old sometimes. Not often do we see a team go to a map, lose it quite badly, and then win it right after. However, the thing was, you were playing it against Cyclops, and you know, I might have said they were trolling a little bit with their operator picks. It turns out that this is actually the new Cyclops. They really like to play it like this, and well, fair enough. They managed to win their games, managed to win all the rounds. So, but it wasn't traditional Siege, and traditional Siege is more of what we'll see coming in from Fnatic, and maybe FAV's Oregon is more resilient against the traditional Siege that will be brought by Fnatic.
I think this was one of the things, and I know they briefly touched upon it on the end of the desk there, Des. After Fnatic lost the play the other day in the full stretch against C9, and there was a discussion of will they be disappointed. I think disappointed, true, sure, but I don't think they should take away too much, because I still sort of believe that it was the map selection, because where we've seen Fnatic be super strong this split, and at the best they've been for a long time, is on these structured maps, is on these well put together maps, and I think today should be a decent return to form for them. I think today should be theoretically tougher for FAV to get a bit of a handle, a bit of control here for a team that sometimes, you know, they have struggled to get their attacks together at points.
Yeah, they've definitely been. And for now, however, you know, if you're thinking about Cyclops, they didn't really get a chance to attack there either way. Like, runouts were happening, spawn peaks were happening, the big towers being contested and everything like that. And a lot of time was wasted on trying to clear out these individual Cyclops players. However, Fnatic's setup seems to be a bit more traditional so far, and this might be where we actually get to see the proper attacks of FAV to finally come into play. We've seen them play in Oregon before, didn't quite get to see the full stretch of it.
No.
And now we're up against Fnatic. However, Fnatic have watched that game as well, and will be well aware of the weaknesses that FAV walked into.
Well, Tex and Lusty are trying to be the welcoming party here to say hello, welcome. But K-Razor has instantly gone towards the window at the bottom of white. They've opened it up to make sure that there's the presence, the pressure that can come from the school bus. It limits them. And Shin and Tex, well, Tex is the man that ends up being the repelling force. Shin driving his way up the shower corridor, able to find the first, and strikes a little bit. But you look at the loss there. That's Iana, her grenades have gone, and you're only left with the two in the hands of Nook. But the pace here that they're trying to apply, they went quick, they went fast, they went aggressive, and they've been able to get themselves here. But what do you do now?
Fnatic well aware, of course, that FAV really like to push from that side. Happened against Cyclops as well, and decided to rerun it. So what did Fnatic do? They just put two players in the exact same positions where Cyclops put theirs. They're able to get the opening engagements going their way. Now, however, as the Black Eye has been taken care of, number 2 is trying to slowly take control of the leader. Of course, didn't get spotted by the camera, as he is, of course, on that Nook, and will be taking it out as a result. A player there quickly. Mag is right around the corner on the reinforcement, but we'll have to stay put for now. And as the hatch will be opening up into Laundry, that might be a call for Mag to at some point try and find a bit of a different position. And she will go off, however, try and slow down number 2, but just gets it out of range. Has to use a grenade. That is very expensive. He can just step a meter forward maybe and get the small utility secured like that.
Well, the C4 and the impact over the top. The impact was the only one that really connected with number 2 there, but now as Mag finds himself in a tricky situation. Mentalist drops a shield in and amongst this smoke. The quick pop-up to find the read gives number 2 an idea who's going to take it. It's number 2, because he had that first spot. They instantly try and rebuttal, and now with that body gone, it is just Afro. He was making an entrance, pepped towards Mag in the corner behind the chassis, but locked off by that Fnatic final line.
And he was able to pick up the first kill there, but at that moment in time, you know, he saw the Jaeger, but he decided to just keep on continuing to cut the corner, to cut the pie, and hope to be able to get into the corner, able to find himself in a better position. But at that time, Mag already using, of course, the lines aside that were created into the freezer to provide some assist. Tex, I believe it was, or was it Mag on that Jaeger? No, it was Tex. Just swinging around the corner as well, picking up one of those kills, and now 1-0 for Fnatic. That was a solid round. Not really anything too difficult for them. Not really being tested either. And Kid Storms will be coming up next. And the Frost will be making an appearance together with the Alibi. Now, Frost will lose the 1.5. Decided that it was time to give it over to Alibi, but not yet. They, you know, they set up a lease contract for it, and will happen very shortly. But we're already going to see the Alibi coming out with the Prismas now. And look, it's not very often we see the Prismas in use. It's going to be interesting to see how they will be looking at. Because, of course, if someone is a bit too quick on the trigger, you are going to be able to get the spot out, get a bit of information, and you might be able to even go for a big swing as a result. But often the Alibis are being, the Prisoners are being droned out before anybody will shoot them. And often will be taken care of as well as a result.
Kind of sad that we'll lose the 1.5 on Frost.
Yeah,
I had a lot of fun with it.
I had a lot of fun with it as well. It's like it's a fun gun.
Fun gun, fun gadgets, because I think that's the main thing, is the gadgets are fun. You don't expect to get people in the maps.
No, but if you do, it's
a
dopamine shot.
It's amazing. Now, look at this pace. Yet again, Shin is trying to drive their way right into meeting. They want to really make sure Fnatic aren't comfortable in that opening 30 seconds. They want to keep this presence and this pressure really hot, really fast. Shin has an angle towards it, but they're just going to hold it there. They're just going to hold off and make sure that they can try and apply themselves, and nobody can put that deep drive in against that attic wall.
Really like how they put up the frost mat on the attic window, because something FAV had to do every now and then is when all else failed, they just hopped in the window from there on and hoped to make a push happen. So, you know, maybe they will be trying to achieve the same thing here as well. Shin from below. Of the new jammer. We'll be opening up thus with the exothermic from above. That means that Lusty with the Alibi now is in a key position. Needs to make sure FAV players are not really going to be able to proceed too far.
Well, the wall is popped and so is Stiggs. A quick removal there by Afro, who is kind of waiting for something else to pop up there, as holding on in the rotation and the split comes round. They wanted to try and put some punishment here before they're able to hop in onto Armory stairs, but it's dangerous because that swing from Trophy without that meeting room, without that bedroom control even, can become very, very testy. Here, they still have a lot of time left, and that's built behind the pace of them getting attic open. They have to now try and move their way through, though, as they do steadily burn it. Take control. That's a lot more utility that they've been able to push through. The laser gates, the ADSs are gone. Now they're just trying to go for this mirror window with IQ still in play. Shin can get underneath, as I believe they are doing right now, and they're going to pop that mute jammer and give them a little bit more.
Definitely Salmon now continues to go in. Needs to make sure that the roamers will be taken care of. Verticality that Fnatic might try and pull up. Not be allowed to continue because you have Tax playing around the kitchen, but he's going to go on a flank. He's going to be going for the big tower stairs. Potentially, number 2 is looking to put some pressure up onto. Ooh, Shin is coming right around the corner. Tax didn't hear that somehow and just gets picked up as a result. FAV have a 2-man advantage.
Well, now that's 2 bodies down in the middle of the site. Mag with 1 more yet again. FAV is stumbling on this backline. Shin is a bit concerned about the hop-in because his only other standing player is Afro on the split, as Mag secures 1 more, but look at the timer. They've left themselves at not a huge amount. The slow crawl around the backside to see if they can just get an inch on that body in the back corner. Afro has to try and apply some pressure around on the split. The diffuse is cold. There's the spray, a great take. They know where the last is, but it is all Fnatic at the end of the board.
There we go, good pickups from Fnatic, and even though there was a 2-man advantage, for FAV. We instantly had the 2 downs coming in from, well, of course, the 2 players rushing through Trophy, hoping to overrun the site. They both got injured, put in the DBNO state, and Fnatic, as a result, able to bring it to an effective 2-on-4 situation in that case. Still very surprising how Tex was not aware of the sprinting IQ towards of him. Probably calls have masked that sound. Of course, wanted to wait for the perfect opportunity to strike onto the APAC to make sure that he had the opportunity to go for that perfect flank. Nonetheless, however, Fnatic pick up the round, and they are 2-0 in front. And going up to Kitchen Dining, a tertiary site. Doesn't seem like there will be a small tower point. Sometimes, very well, rarely you see it happen where, for example, a Frost will play there, put up some of the Frost mats, some ADSs will put up their shield as well. It's literally a suicide position, but it is such a strong suicide position, especially when there's not many grenades.
Okay, I have curiosities about how this clash is going to go down, because what we've seen so far from FAV this game is very good control of getting the space around the site, the defending utility in those situations. You know, we saw a quick clear down towards Freezer on the first take, and then they stumbled when they had to meet the bodies. There, they're able to get 2 kills. I think the second one was a little bit gifted. I don't think they expected to find each other on that corner and on that swing. They did. But before that, the takeover trophy, the take on the wall, all the removal of the meat jammers was very well put together. Where FAV are stumbling is when they meet a player and how they sort of uproot them. And now you have Mag, who's playing that terrifying combination of utility and player. And I'm curious to see which of those 2 sides of FAV is the one that shines brighter, the one that's good at removing problems or the one that struggles at removing players.
That's going to be the big question indeed. You're looking over at the utility they have some grenades, they have the stuns on Afro, of course, and an opportunity to try and take care of him. However, we need to work together as a team. The struggle is that he's playing close to a door, and that allows him to quickly fall back as soon as the concussions are coming in. So you cannot just simply push them in. No, you need to make sure that you have showers controlled first, because then you're going to be able to set up a bit of a crossfire. Lusty, however, playing inside there, has a shield, has 2 ADSs backing him up as well, and as well, they're thinking about putting up some more vertical pressure into the small tower. So Camera literally spotting out every single one, and the Nitro will secure the first kill.
Well, now they're looking for the camera, but it's behind you, Shin. It's behind you. The IQ missing a camera. Name a better tragedy inside Siege that we watch, and the longer it plays out, the more of a tragedy it becomes. Shin is trying to offer the cover and the support here to make sure nobody swings onto showers, whether they've got the intel or not. Still means it's dangerous to try and get the hold on, and they've at least been able to slip their way back in. There is still another C4 in the pocket of the Valk, ready to try to blow them up, and with Mag sort of offering themselves in a position and a setup there of being able to be a little bit mobile and a little bit more aggressive than you otherwise could be, that can buy that Valk just those extra few feet to make that soft dangerous. And I think FAV, they're trying to establish a second point, and it's going to be around Big Tower.
I think they decided to go for a full rotate, hope to open up, and created this small angle which Mag is now watching. So he's going to build a full player and a shield towards at least that area. And now the push is trying to be rotated around. Mag himself will rotate as well with that big shield, just running around, roaming around, and hoping to find someone, as FAV now will be opening up with the final X-Kairos. It's going to be very difficult to fit through that, I think, but hoping to create a bit of a hole, just big enough for them to try and hopefully sneak in and get a plant from. They managed to do so. Of course, the cover still needs to be there. And number 2, waiting around the corner, is going to be one to try and do so. The door or barricade will be opened up with the Gon 6. There is still that shield that is well, troublesome. And as K-Razor is going to be trying to take care of the clash, he will be taking care of himself.
Well, there's a deep dive around the corridor, and suddenly they've been able to put some body balance. They lose above Tex with the pistol, and as that man gets zapped down, the cover comes around the back. It's blow for blow, and Fnatic are the ones that stay standing at the end. And yet again, FAV collapsing when they have to, more than when they probably wanted to.
Yeah.
Built behind not being able to find the breach on Shower, the camera that sort of stayed up and gave all the intel that was needed towards Fnatic, it became troublesome. It became dicey for them.
It definitely became troublesome and dicey. And we are heading into round number 4 now, where the full rotation has been succeeded, has been successfully completed by Fnatic. And you know what? The full rotation isn't 3 on this map, they say. We're going for the full 4. We're going to Meeting Hall Kitchen just to keep them guessing because, well, probably FAV is going to be expecting them to go back to the basement now. That's not going to be happening.
Attackers need to locate and
that might catch them off guard.
That's it. It pulls in picks as well. You're now looking at the Nook that's obviously on the board, which was part of their push here before. The IQ still being inconsistent. I think, sure, it missed the camera in the last round. That was a bit of a problem, but it had been very good in the rounds just before, which I've been a bit critical about some IQ uses recently. I think there's moments where she sort of brought us more of a we hope it works.
Yeah, so there's often recalling that an IQ could be really useful.
Yeah.
FAV is actually the team that uses IQ quite successfully against Cyclops as well. And I know this might be a bit more of a niche thing, but before they went for an execute, they saw a shield. They were like, how do we deal with this? So he opens up the scanner, spots one ADS. It's like one flashbang will do. Throw the flashbang in, get the impact in right after, rather than using 2-3 flashbangs just in case there's more. So, you know, you can also use it for that, because you do see the outline of the gadget. You will know what gadget it is. So FAV have really good use of the IQ so far. That it will be a little bit more effective for them, as they haven't been able to find a round yet.
Alternate take here. They're trying to diversify their push, which I think is very good. Shin is currently running alone in AWOL. They're hoping to pull as much intel as they can, and there it is. Fed over and passed through. They know that they've probably got a lot of pressure here if they go any further than Shadow Wall, but they also know that the longer they're here, the more likely they are to suffer and get swung on. But this sort of split push, which, to be fair, sometimes we haven't truly seen from them, I think is a bit of a growth in the right direction. It gives them more options, gives them more ability to put the pressure in the right place. An early smoke canister to buy some time there for Mentalist.
Sometimes it's necessary once to hold on as long as possible to the big tower, because the longer you hold on to the big tower, the harder it will be for them to set up and execute from that side. So Mentalist is just going to be trying to stall out as much time as possible, as Meg's now coming in to help as well. In the meantime, the attic will also be contested, and number 2 is looking to potentially go and find a fight there. And Shin, in the meantime, taking a lot of damage from the FO12. Well, not even a lot, just 25. Had been stunned by a Grisma. Needs to be very careful to not lose his life.
Wow, Shin has yet again found themselves in a tricky situation, and how can they build upon it? Because they have no one else truly for support at this time, and if that gets called out, then that becomes a big problem. They've actually been able to drive themselves even further, but Lusty, still with armory control, is looking to try and swing in and get aggressive from beneath, and there's the spray covered by the sounds of a very loud FO12 that kicks. And again, FAV, they spread themselves out a little bit early. They've been able to take some stuff here, but otherwise finding the man yet again has proven to be the big problem for them.
Yeah, definitely so. They are in the right positions. They're just not in the, you know, having the right utility or right plan to try and deal with these players. And they find themselves in a man disadvantage. Stakes here, that camera being shot. There's the Sinus RG50 that's coming around the corner, but the FO12 will be coming in supreme. And in the meantime, kills came down on either side. It's a 2-3 situation, but they still need to head downwards on the side of FAV. Is there any way they can go for verticality? No, there's not. They have a hatch to work with, but that surely will be watched. And, well, hopefully they'll make sure that they are going to be able to pick up at least 1, maybe 2 of these Fnatic players before they go for an execute, but it doesn't look good for them.
Stig's in position to catch anybody that falls, but unfortunately his definition of catching is to shoot them with a very terrifying gun at close range. Mentalist, he's still just chilling on the back line. He knows that they've got the back secured, so here it comes through. Stigs pops on one, runs out of bullets for the second, but Mag's there. And I think that one, Mag, that's your kill, not taking someone's. You can take the...
Yeah, this is not the team kill that...
No.
Not team, kill steal that,
no, that was
been accused of many times.
This one is all Mags. We're in his defense, in his favor this time.
Definitely so.
This time.
He can have this one, that counts. But job done. And we're going for a tactical timeout, as the lights subtly hinted to us.
I know.
I was already looking like, is this a time for a tactical timeout? Yes,
That's what happens, because for when we're off camera, the lights will go down.
Yeah.
So people don't have to look at us. Okay. FAV, your struggles that we've highlighted are ones where you're struggling to pull out the bodies. You're struggling to try and win these firefights at the most sort of crucial moments, which is when you get into the great positions that you're getting into. And I think that's the sort of strange dichotomy right now, is they're fantastic at approaching an entity-less board. I think that at the pace that they're going, they could clear a whole map in a minute 30 if they didn't meet a single body. But as soon as they meet the body, they sort of stumble and they sort of get a little bit cautious.
How do we deal with that?
Yeah,
which is the big question to have.
Yeah, which is fair. But sometimes, you know, against a team like Fnatic that can get great in these engagements and can be punished, as you've been able to occasionally punish them, you have to try and find a little bit more confidence, a little bit more oomph towards those final swings, because as we saw a great demonstration of in that round, Fnatic, we've always highlighted this split, how good they are tactically. If they don't need to rotate and they don't need to apply pressure, they won't.
They won't. Exactly.
10 seconds left, Mentalist is still holding onto the stairs he was holding at the beginning, because that's his role, that's what he's going to do, and he stuck to it, which gives them that solidity and security. Yeah, sure, at the same time, you had Stiggs running around with a shotgun killing people, but the rest of them didn't have to. That's Stiggs sort of taking that mantle and taking that pressure, and it doesn't matter how long you leave them and how long you try and build between those firefights, Fnatic aren't going to shake. So you got to get that tree and you got to start shaking.
Yeah, definitely so. Crossfire is also on point of Fnatic. As soon as you take out one, instantly the second or maybe even a third one with that will go for the peak. And here you see it. Stakes 45 seconds still on the stairs, on the freezer stairs. Gets the kill, realizes probably no one left, heads into security. As that was the next part of the attack, of course, the next part of the fallback. So we're heading into round 5 now. It is a normal average setup that you would see on the bottom floor. However, the big difference is that it's only Mentalist on the side. Everybody else seems to be roaming for now. Tex in the small tower, or well, dining rather. That was the overlay, giving me a bit of a fool. Either way, they're falling back now as a result. And Stiggs is as well. So that is quite curious. Like, just mentioned how they wouldn't move if they didn't have to. Now we see everybody just falling back to the side straight away. Now, this could be due to the fact that they realized the push is not going to be coming in from the small tower to start off with. It's coming from different positions, and thus they weren't properly set up for it. They fall back towards the side where everybody knows their job and how to deal with it. Lusty managed to get a cam under his control. Right as he started to move out, going to be making the most of that one. Stags and Sticks, they are thinking about moving up the big tower.
Well, Shin is doing as much reconnaissance work as they can. He's able to take a little bit more, and one of Lusty's drones is gone, but he has another, and he's going to cause as many problems with as he can. Number 2, on the Nook, hasn't quite had the success that it might be offered. Is able to slip past a Mozzie drone that's doing some fervent work around here and potentially give, I guess, Fnatic a little bit of false sense of security. Stiggs, he's on edge, he pre-fires, but knows he doesn't have to die here. As I said before, Fnatic, they'll make sure that the tactics are what survive. They're not going to betray the plan for the chance of a kill.
They definitely won't. As the hatches are starting to open up now, K-Razor doing his job. It's FAV that need to make something happen. They're currently 4 rounds behind. Fnatic is absolutely destroying them so far, and in this round, not much control has been gained, but Fnatic has been, you know, they have been toying with the idea of going upwards, and a lot of drones are being hacked by Lusty here and there. Still, there is information on the site, and FAV is definitely looking to go for an executor, to go for that final push, but again, they don't have the manpower advantage yet. They're 5 on 5, and it's always, well, a bit of a gamble to see which way that one will pay out.
So Mag's dug in the same corner that he was on before. He still has the chance of getting some cover, but Shin digging in deep, taking a bit of a chance and dropping Lusty on the swing, and that's some of the sort of play-in moments that I was wanting and calling for before. The canister pops off, buys them a little bit of time, but it's put a bit of a separation in between the hold itself. Mentalist went to pop another one. They still have all of their blue hold, and they only have 20 seconds left to try and hold it on. Typon goes for a bit of a hot drop here, swings and gets the man. Dug in on the corner, goes for the second behind it, and suddenly they're able to try and find some space, but Mentalist with the swing gets the diffuser cold, and now they've got to try and recollect and replant. The pings are coming through. Shin is going for the cross angle. There's nobody to get the quick pick up. He's going for the rotate. There it is. K-Razor comes in clutch when they needed him, and now it's Stiggs that has to try and dig back with Jaeger. We've seen both bodies rotate up. They've repositioned above the hatches. They're going to refocus themselves towards the diffuser. They know they can sort of do one up, one down, and while they still have some utility to pop as well. We'll listen for the audio. But they don't drop. They wait. They're both stacked up there, and Well, Stiggs is well aware that this is the danger game. Heads up the stairs, gives the game away. Jiggle peaks one, but it's K-Razor to finally get a round back.
Well played by FAV here. Decided to go for a completely different take. Sending some people from the laundry and some from the stairs. With that, they were able to get this round in. Nice one, at least. Hopefully for them, they'll be able to extend it to 2. And then suddenly, we're back into a game. Suddenly, it doesn't look as one-sided as it looked before, because a 4-2 split is still a good split.
And it might not even be that. It's still work left to be done. Still,
yes.
Obviously, it's never quite over. They have already complimented their defenses. There was obviously the unfortunate rotation issue that we saw Mag suffer as well, as he's pointed out. And it's those situations where, you know, if he'd been there a little bit quicker, maybe he would have had more time to potentially try and take the fight with K-Razor first, or if he would have felt more confident going for the swing elsewhere. Either way, it's a FAV gaming round at the end. Fnatic have another opportunity here to put themselves on this 5-1 split, still with the pickup of the Alibi and a big sort of extension of the shields. We see this more and more sort of around here as well. It's always been common. Sometimes players or teams will pick Goyo as well, just for the amount of shields to get you the swing angles here from Kid Storms, across Trophy, across Attic, blah, 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 shield places.
There's many places where you can place these shields here. Lusty right now, however, is debating where to put the Prismas. Just looking for a nice little corner where he can toss one up, and now decides to go up in T3. Now you might be able to use that, put it up there, try and maybe hold off to it a little bit better. So spawn peaks, a couple of them are coming in. Still trying to get Shin, will not be able to do so, and those FAV will continue to live on with 5 people for now. Shin, the important member that managed to actually open up the score in the previous round, which was 1. Snuck in from the freezer, managed to pick up a free kill into one who was playing into the hallway. From there on, FAV that managed to, over on the side, managed to go for a plant and managed to take the win from there on. Now, you just see one of the Prismas being used. However, number 2 is very well aware, just quickly repelled up and checked, so don't think he will be trying to shoot it. I was very well aware of the fact that there might be some help to be gifted or to be tossed up from Fnatic, especially from the Armory corridor. But there's a more dangerous one. It stacks underneath in the big tower. Has the opportunity of just punching the door and running out as soon as the pressure starts to come on onto Lusty.
Caution is currently the mantle that is being worn by all of the bodies as they try and just find the top of this hole. They know somebody's up there. They want the angle too. They forced him into a corner. There's Tex though. He fires high. He gets high. There's low though. But there's Stiggs and Tex both lighting the names up. Mag is able to take one. Stiggs goes down in the meantime from the crossfire angle he had, and that's that caution being punished by Fnatic. They waited for the moment. They realized that the pressure was going to come in sooner rather than later. The punch and the run gave them some time. Mag gets that reassessed, reaffirmed, and relocked in. And Afro and K-Razor are going on a 2-man mission to a place where no FAV player has been before this round.
So sneaking up in the laundry stairs, there will be barbed wire that we'll have to deal with. It's going to be giving away some of that sound as both checking the same corner. It's so beautiful to see how they're both in sync here. Just run past the barbed wire. No one has heard it so far. Unfortunately, there is the laser gate, but decide to go quick on it. Bring that pace. That is what they need to do. But Mag, inside of the attic, will be able to have a pretty good angle. There's also a shield right around the corner they need to take care of. Will do so as well. Mentalist will have to fall back just a little bit as now a breach into the attic will be created just to put that extra bit of pressure. Is that a head he sees? He does see something because he knows one is in there. Spots the header, will be able to get the kill. Goes to the second, will be able to find Mag. Afro with some huge kills. Swaps over to the RG-15, needs to find some more, but goes down to Mentalist, who sneaks into the bunks right now. It's only up to K-Razor. A 1v2 situation and 20 seconds left on the clock. He has the diffuser, but can he really go for a plant here?
No, not without any semblance of safety. Tried to bait Lusty to swing and, well, sort of devil's paw wish. Yeah. He'll swing, but he'll also kill you. And that is one of those unfortunate situations there. Fnatic, they held themselves through. It was a, you know, it was a bold rotation. It was a bold idea. They'd realized that they'd sort of lost everything. And they'd lost everything without being able to get any ground on the tower. There was nothing that they'd done internally. Everything happened outside. So from that point onwards, they went, right, well, we need to reassess anyway. We're going to hit some utility on the other side, but let's just drive through it. We know it's a much straighter line, and we know it's open doors, usually towards the site from the opposite side. They hit it. They almost pulled off something magical, but 5-1. Now they've got to pull off something a little bit more than magical to be able to pull this one back.
Yeah, definitely so. Got to do what they did against Cloud9. Pull up a couple more rounds this time. 6, and they would win. These are that one attacking round that they managed to land into the basement. But it is Fnatic now onto their attacks, and you know, we've talked about how methodical they are, and surely they will be well aware of the setup that FAV is about to set up, because they have been bringing these setups against Cyclops, and though Cyclops didn't play the same game, it still shows you where the utility's placed, where the players are playing, and how their rotations work. Those are pieces of information that you can abuse as Fnatic, because we head back into Afro's beautiful double kill. Spots out the player, swaps over towards the attic, and managed to find Mag as well before he can even respond. His teammate right behind him as well, so they just opened up the breach. It was a bit of a distraction. Just managed to force themselves through to the actual attic door. Beautifully played. Either way, Fnatic now under attack. This is the first round. If they manage to win this of the get-go, they'll find themselves into a position where they have 5 consecutive match points. They really need those points because they are currently the only team, I believe, that can still catch up to Cyclops to try and fight for that top spot. There is currently 6 points between them and Cyclops. But they are the only team that has 3 games to play, including this one.
These Flores drones are making quick work of the Goyo shield, something we talked about before, where often you'll see that shield took a lot to burn through, especially in the FAV game itself when they were trying to find a way through. And Fnatic are a team of great adaptation. We've always sort of highlighted that, even when things are going their way or not, as it's gone in recent splits. They love to lean into new things. They love to lean into new operators, new ideas, new holds, and Flores is something that they've been able to flaunt with a lot of strength. Here, we've seen it instantly have a sort of impact and then followed up, but they've been able to already take out what is a tough shield, a core shield.
First of the smoke canisters has been used. Tex tries to quickly go for a peek by throwing in a flashbang, but Tapon returning some of that fire, however, now has been abandoning that position. The shield will be taken care of by Mentalist with a grenade from the balcony on the side. Hops back into the big tower, wants to put some pressure in from the big tower stairs, as the rest of Fnatic seems to be coming from the master bedroom side.
Now it's a bit of a cautious angle hold as Fnatic have flooded their way into Trophy. They've got a bit of control of walk-in, and now they're going to see if they can open up that split angle towards the back line of Attic. Stiggs hot droning Mentalist onto this firefight round. He's going to meet the Goyo, but he takes 2 in the trade, finds Jaeger at the same time, and that is Attic control falling into their favor from a single strike on the backside. FAV a bit blinkered and blindsided there, and now they've got to see if they can pull together some of the pieces as everything starts to light itself on fire. They realize that they've lost a big core bit of ground, and Shin is driving the way back up to take it, uses the C4's movement and finds the fight with Mentalist, who gets one more, finally ended by K-Razor, but there's now another body there, instantly replacing them. The pressure's coming from the Hibana holds its double window that locks it off in the meantime, and Afro is entirely isolated there in the site, and Fnatic, overwhelmed and overrun, that execute.
In that moment, you said the pressure is coming from the Hibana charges, but at the same time, it was coming in from the big window, from the rest of Attic, and of course from like White Stairs kind of area as well. Everywhere an angle was being watched by Fnatic. No way they were going to be handing that one away. Now to find themselves on match point. Laundry Supply will be the site FAV choose to go to either live or die, as they need to find 5 rounds in a row now if they want to make sure that they secure themselves a single point. There is no more room for error, whereas Fnatic have the opportunity, of course, to hand out a couple of these rounds. They don't necessarily need to close it at this very point. All they need to do for the standings-wise as well is win from FAV with a full 3-pointer. That is the only way they have the opportunity of overtaking Cyclops, I believe. Actually, no. I think if they manage to get a single point, they also have the opportunity. But then Cyclops need to lose both their games full out, straight out. Not a single point. It's very likely Fnatic will be taking the top spot, but they have the opportunity to, just like Damwon Gaming. So they are the chasers. Whereas FAV, I think they're done for already.
5 rounds. 5 rounds, they got to try and pull themselves back in. They think they can start it here down on Laundry. And I'm curious to see if we get a blue drive, because you look at all that utility, you also look at the missing mute. There's nothing to stop that Flores being able to just drive in apart from swinging and shooting, but it's so dangerous. And if that's something that Fnatic read, which to be fair, they're pretty good at, they will probably be able to punish that and drop, what, shield and 2, maybe 3 ADSs with a single well-placed drone.
It's definitely the opportunity indeed, and Yokai is going to go on a little bit of a journey, hoping to provide a bit of cover to Shin, playing in that big tower. Just got spotted out by one of these drones, and you see how thorough Fnatic is, droning out the small tower, the top of it as well, just making sure that every single thing is clear on that side of the map, because it seems like they will be going for a freezer and laundry execute. That's the way that they're currently setting up. They do not need to contest the big tower as a result of it. And as Lusty is quickly trying to clear the attic here, they will shortly find out as well. The question is, has there been a rotation created? No, there has not been, but there is a player in there, and they need to find the angle. You're not going to be able to get the shots like it. He's going to be trying to move out. Yela hoping to go back down the stairs. Will do so successfully, but Tex is waiting around the corner.
Yeah, Tex is in the position to strike more drones, and number 2 knows that their number may be up here, spraying either side. Saw the first spray of the Flores, but the Flores is also in for the second setup there. Push Shin down. He tried to get a little bit of sneaky revenge there, but couldn't quite make it land, and wanted to sort of drift away and fade away with the bullets. They've removed that body. They've pushed all 4 down, but they've still got to see if they can start cracking open the site itself. Laundry is going to get opened. Moto, likely next, or Electric even. Next, as that follows up quite quickly, and they're seemingly putting their eyes towards Freezer as their mantle of approach.
Definitely so. Mentalist heading down those stairs, of course, as a little bit of an entry fragger roll here onto the Yana. So has some grenades available to toss over the lockers, and together with the RCs they're about to be sent in. That shield has to be taken care of, will successfully be dealt with as well. And now it's going to be Afro in a very curious position. He's going to be able to take out one of the RCs. The Gemini will be taken care of as well. Unfortunately for Fnatic, no straight refrag. The RC Retiros are continuing to be brought out as one of the Yokais now has been repositioned as well. There's only 35 seconds left on that clock. In FAV, they have a one-man disadvantage, but it still can make do, especially if they manage to quickly strike back into Fnatic as they're about to push in.
Well, there's the drop, and there's the push and the pressure. Afro swings wide onto Freezer and is able to keep it cool and get rid of Mentalist. Now, though, everyone's stacked up and ready for the push as they're eyeing this Laundry, they're eyeing this Freezer, but it's a quick change of pace. But Shin is close. There it is. Lusty and Stig's going to try and offer Mag some support. There's a man with a shotgun. He's still able to get the first frag, though, and he really got away with murder there. Lusty sprays through. They actually pick up the trade, and they save their skin by time. But still, bits of worry in that final 5 seconds.
He really wasn't allowed to pick up the first kill, though, Mag. Just jumping in there. Should have been instantly been dealt with that shotgun. But, of course, FAV will still win the round. And that's the most important part for them. It doesn't matter how you get there as long as you do get there. But make sure to fix the mistakes for if the site comes around yet another time. Meeting Hall Kitchen. The next site where FAV is under all the pressure in this matchup. As you see in the scoreboard, the yellow outlined dots, or diamond really, on Fnatic's side, meaning that if they win this round, they will win it, and they will win it all the 3 points. And FAV will want to try and stop that from happening. They want to get 1, or preferably even 2 of these points, to keep themselves competitive for a potential first place spot, and as well as securing themselves a little bit more into that top 4 where, you know, number 2, 3, and 4 go to the APAC playoffs against APAC South and against the South Asian National Championships, because those would qualify for the top 2 of those players. So the top 2 of those 8 teams will join the number 1 and 2 of APAC South. Either way, match point still and it is FAV onto their defense. Still, going to be making sure that there is a good top floor hold, barricading as many of the doors as possible, setting up some banshees as well on the top of the white stairs. Make sure that no one is allowed to just sneak in. As Verticality is also being created with a revolver here.
Okay, Fnatic bringing the Capitao, bringing a bit of a stretch and an extension here. Flores is off the board for now. They've opted for something a little bit more direct, and I'm wondering if that's what we might see. Maybe they've realized that when the pressure's on the site itself, FAV are struggling to deal with it, and instead of focusing more on those shields, on those holds, they might be able to just drive themselves through. There was always the chance that we'd be back in dorms. We found ourselves in meeting instead, and you've got the Rook as well, that I guess is the attempt at the counter. There's a pop, there's a misthrow on the first, the second on the pickup, didn't quite have the angle and the holds, can't quite get rid of all of them. But now they have the ability to spray around. Look at this instant close down of the pressure. This is the pace I said we might get from Fnatic here, and they're making sure they live up to it.
It's the pace they will have to put up, but as you said, a lot of the X-Scars have been wasted. Mag only has 6 pellets left, and they're attacking the top floor whilst it's not even the site. Also gives them not much alternatives now, at least with the Habana. There is still the ace on the board, 3 Selmas available to you to open up a wall. Preference. And as Mentalist takes care of the Yokais now, it seems like the push might be diverting a little bit, might be coming a little bit more from the kitchen side of things, but at the same time, there's also still 2 people in the master bedroom trying to put up some pressure into the attic. So Fnatic is really going for a multifaceted push here. And as soon as Stigs and Mentalist are deciding to starting to move in, surely that top floor pressure is going to be coming down as well as a result. And they need to find the Echo. They need to find the players inside the security. And Shin picks up the first kill into Mag. That is going to be one of those players inside the attic gone. But there's still another one. He's going to be able to get the refrag. Lusty, that is. And there's only a minute left on the clock. But Fnatic are trying to fight back.
On number 2, fights back. There's a hot drop, and Lusty can't quite win it out. Suddenly, we find ourselves just with Tex left alive. They tried to crack their way through from the top. They went for the bit of the repositioning too, but unfortunately for them, FAV had that lockdown. They couldn't quite muscle their way through the guns of FAV this time round, who were more than happy to sort of take them as the falling firefights that came through. 40 seconds, 4 bodies left. Sure, 3 of them are quite injured, but assuming they've got that armor, it means it's going to take more than just a killing blow to kill them. So the cover and the smoke, a little bit of appreciation and movement here as they go for the drop and the spray towards where one of them previously was. They've otherwise pulled themselves into meeting, apart from one. Afro around the backside gets one more round back for them, brings the deficit to only 3.
Starting to get less. You know, it was 5 at the start. It's only 3 now, and as the smoke was starting to fade, he stood up and managed to get the final kill. Again, for a 3rd time, we will see match point in the middle of our screens, and we're going to kids and dorms next. It's going to be the 3rd side, where FAV is under complete pressure. They need to make sure that they complete this rotation. It allows them just to start breathing just a little bit better and give themselves some extra hope that there's an opportunity to get back into it. Of course, if they lose it, there is no hope anymore, because then it's just over. But, you know what I'm saying. They need to win this one, and preferably comfortably as well, to at least have an opportunity of, well, taking a hit into Fnatic's mental. And I'm 100% sure that if Fnatic lose this round, they will be calling a tactical timeout to quickly discuss what is going on, because then you're going back to site where you've been before. Then suddenly the pressure is starting to arise even more. As FAV start to set up, see hatch being reinforced. You do not see that very often. It's often being reinforced if either a player will be playing on top of that or near it with potentially a shield, or if they're afraid of an Amaru that just comes in. Now, there's no Amaru, but the hatch still reinforced. So trying to potentially play inside there and not wanting to be denied from below, where someone just opens up the hatch and basically sends you on your way downwards towards the kitchen.
Okay, Fnatic back to the Flores, back to the dorms push. That was pretty much exactly the same setup as you've got here, and it was very successful. The amount of pressure that came all the way across. A cacophony of firing lines that led to only one result for FAV's favor, but FAV's first rounds have come in a while over the past 2 rounds. They're still building, they're still driving. They've been able to find a little bit more success. Bit of a change of pace here, though. The wide drift of the Flores drone gets mute jammed. Typon safe, able to take care of that, and Tex realizes he's got a little bit more work to do rather than just being able to free flow that drone all the way through.
Probably Lusty will be sent in from below to try and take care of the Mewjammer. Need to find out which way it will around be and maybe use an impact or try and get it from below. Maybe they're just going to send in an impact straight through the door. You never know. There's many opportunities here. Styx is just holding on the side of that window, hoping that one of the players will be extending a little bit too far. Afro was looking to take the gunfight, dealing a lot of damage, but not quite getting the kill down. As a result, Styx a bit low, but still alive. Still has Selmas available that need to be used, so needs to be very careful with his life.
Well, Tex kind of wanting and anticipating a bit of a swing back here. There's also the C4 over the top possibility of trophy. They know it's not quite territory you can happily sit in. K-Razor has the swing on the armory stairs door too. They want to try and get rid of the shield, but it's not easy. They're potentially going to go underneath and maybe try and cause some damage there. Mentos obviously still has a grenade in pocket, but for now it seems like they're actually just going to drive their way through. Tex actually does get that Flores drone all the way in, all the way through the swing. The C4 over the top only catches a drone there. Tex is off.
Now, this is going to be destroying the upper and the bottom part of it, but Mag needs to use the last set of Excaros on it. Ah, that's very unfortunate for him. Many of them got tricked there, and as a result, he's not going to be able to take the reinforcement out. Now, there's two anchor points in the middle of the bottom and the top. If you manage to take those out with the Excaros, the wall suddenly goes soft, and you have the opportunity of taking it out. Now, Afro, of course, was able to deny it, but this... Oh, another impact. How many do they have as they managed to take it so much of their utility? One more Selma could take care of it, but Typhon will take care of Styx instead. Now, a man disadvantage yet once again for Fnatic.
Well, there's a spray around the side. He doesn't quite get the full kill, but he gets the man down. And when you've got 40 seconds, now it's only 30. You got to get that diffuser back. They still have the possibility of buying themselves some time. You need that cacophony of pressure I talked about from Fnatic before, from all the split sides and the other ways they can really apply themselves. There's the swing. Drops that open body and goes for the revive with some of the cover coming from the opposite side, but you still need that pressure when you've only got a very tight amount of time left. It has to be a bit of a drive. K-Razor and Tex one apiece as they find themselves slipped through. Shins down on the ground. Tex is still driving though, and Mag now has themselves with the cover. Tex down. There's the lock off with the shotgun. There's the time and a stick. He's round the corner. There he is. K-Razor with a quad.
Tex had a quad himself as well. If he would have just swung around a little bit earlier with a little bit less smoke to cover off, the player might have been able to pick up the ace. But as a result, FAV bringing it back 4-6. 2 rounds left now. And there you have it. As I said, if they lose this one, it's a timeout. And Fnatic are going to be calling that timeout because they do need to make sure that this round will stick. And otherwise the next one.
Yeah, they want to bring themselves back to some idea of the pace that they had. Obviously, Oregon's one where you can have sort of more of a mantle of security on your defenses. They were a team that were very happy. They've played every single site and won it in succession on this map now. And then they obviously win their first attack on Dorms as well. And then since then, it sort of seemed like FAV, it was scrappy, but they pulled it back. But the amount of control that they've been able to step up and build upon, they've looked more and more comfortable every single round. So as you said, now rather than never, because if this keeps going and FAV keep getting more confident, it only really plays against Fnatic.
It will only indeed, because then the momentum is in FAV's side. And of course, they also, I believe, got the side choice for the overtime. I'm not quite sure. But we'll find out if it gets that far, because we first still have 2 match points underway here for Fnatic, who have the opportunity of closing it out. And, you know, they got quite close yet once again, even though they were basically in a 2-man disadvantage at the moment that the execute started, managed to bring it back to a 2v1 situation, which then turned into a 1v1 and a win for FAV. There's a shotgun swing just in time, because Mag was about to get his gun back up. He was about to be able to return fire before he got taken care of by that English shotgun. And now we're heading back to the bottom floor again. It's number 2 that goes on a bit of a roam, close the door behind him and puts a frost mat right underneath the stairs. It's not a spot you often see, but he might be banking on the fact, and Okay, so what I think he hopes to achieve is that they will not be descending the laundry stairs. They'll be opening up the hatch. They might drop and go for a plant and then move back up through the stairs, where they have to open a door and might walk into a frost mat as a result. Because I don't think... Can we highlight the frost mat again? I don't think... I should think that gets spotted, especially if the door is closed.
Especially as the door is closed, especially as usually if there is taken pressure there, you would open from armory stairs as well.
From above as well, yeah.
So you would assume if that frost mat gets anybody, that's your 1 in a million. And then that's the don't ever tell me the odds kid.
Yeah, definitely so. Putting another one down the stairs, hoping to catch one. This one I get, because
that one
will be
much
like
more
aiming down the side as
yeah.
they move down, holding the angle, holding the corner. You might be walking into that accidentally if your side housing blocks, of course, that frost mat. The ones around the doorways are always nice because people will generally walk to the left or the right as soon as they move in. So those have high opportunity of catching someone. Talking about the shield here. Had a good opportunity of winning that gunfight as well. If it was taken, but Stigs deciding to not go for it. Go for a bit of a rotate back up, trying to drone out. As Tax is ready to take the big tower. And that takes priority now for Fnatic.
Yeah, they've currently sort of got a quick clearance across the rest of the map here. You can see K-Razor's Echo drone was going on a bit of reconnaissance work, but couldn't find anybody. Everything from FAV's hold is pillioned and sort of set up down inside the site to sort of build themselves behind the bunker, make sure that they have those angles that they can fire back through. They've realized that some of their solidity is something that Fnatic's struggling to pull away with, and they're not quite able to have these loose players because Fnatic is so good at weighing up how to get the crossfires, how to get them in place, and how to remove them. So give them a 5-on-5 fight. Give them everybody at the same time, and that's when we've seen Fnatic start to stumble a little bit as this game's continued here. With a minute 20, they're starting their approach down beneath. They've been able to pop open the hatches, and here come those Rotero drones to try and take care of some of this other utility. Afro is shooting towards a drone, I assume that was.
Yeah, I think there's a drone on the middle of the side. Might be able to or try to take care of it. Not quite sure. Right away, the openings are there, and Yokai is now going on a bit of a adventure, spotting out one of these drones that will be taken care of by Afro. Counter intel, as the Echo is now making sure that he achieves that.
Well, Afro's pulled himself slightly further back and well-timed as frag grenades start to roll off. They're going to try and push back in on this space in a second, but the Flores drone is going to cause some slight problems, force Afro further away again, force them out and allow them to move in on the backside. Shin's peppering bullets towards Laundry to see if they can just catch anybody as Tex has a moment to drop its Lusty. That opens up off and Tex instantly gets the pickup. Mac's going to try and stick it, but there's the cross angle, there's the hold, and there's suddenly K-Razor drop 2. They've gone deeper than deep. Fnatic with a plan, drive themselves towards the end of this game. Typon is able to at least get one on the backside, but it's quickly mapped by Lusty. A timeout, team talk, and a moment to bring themselves back to the balance they had before, and Fnatic find the 3 points.
Find the 3 points, and with that they stay competitive for the potential top spot inside of APAC North, because right now they find themselves 3 points behind on Cyclops. Of course, they lose the head-to-head over them, and that means that, you know, they need to get more points than Cyclops does if they want to make sure that they are going to be walking away with that victory. But nonetheless, they secure themselves, or at least set themselves up a little bit better for the top 4 playoff spot.
Yeah, and that's sort of, as we find